Good afternoon. You're early. Time shift made us suspect something's wrong. Let's not pretend then. I reviewed everything. Every clause, every diagram. It's a cathedral. That was the point. Sacred, but functional. My counsel called it brilliant and emotionally volatile. Said it reads like a love letter to entropy. They're not wrong, but they confused control with clarity, which has surfaced the friction that was already there. Dale found out about the Berlin clause. The override if family control exceeds 10%. He's furious. Did you explain? He said I'm staging my own funeral, on training wheels, that I don't trust him to lead. We anticipated resistance. Let's review it with the digital infrastructure that we designed with top mathematicians today. Pushback analysis, family tier. 1. Dale Whitmore opposes advisory override clause, critical of sibling veto structure, believes innovation is being second-guessed by legacy, but he will remain engaged if granted clause review rights. Number 2. Eliza Whitmore. She's hesitant on value-tethered philanthropy, rejects merit-based liquidity gates. She's positive on symbolic assets, Florence presidency, legacy triggers, and she requested access to grandfather's archive. Number 3. Olivia Whitmore. She supports silent trust mechanism, advises reduced cortisol opacity. She offers to write moral preamble to codex. That is not failure. It's only stress signals. We're testing glass, checking where it flexes. It's not glass, it's blood. Then I ask, would you rather leave them a fortress they can't enter, or a puzzle they'll fight to solve? I was going to record this. I couldn't say it out loud. Where should it go? You decide. It belongs in the silence trust, not as instruction, just a voice in the dark, unlabeled, undated, only discoverable through action. Would they know it's me? Only if they listen. I used to think Millie spoke clearly. Now I see it just speaks louder. Then let's make it whisper to those who want to hear. There is something else. We mapped how each person in your family responds to inheritance, not financially, but emotionally. You're profiling now. Listening. We found 4 archetypes. Your family spans all of them. Olivia, the architect, collaborative, thoughtful, low risks. She wants to shape what she leaves, not what she keeps. Dale, the challenger, instinctively resists imposed systems, high risks, accepts structure if it's transparent and revisable. Eliza, the interpreter, seeks narrative coherence, not just outcomes, trusts meaning more than mechanism. That tracks. She always cared more about what I gave than how much. And then the absentee, the ones who won't ask, won't care, won't come, future generations you'll never meet. What do you do with them? Whisper. No chase. If they approach, the structure opens on their terms. So, Olivia builds, Dale challenges, Eliza interprets, and someone unknown ignores all of it. That's legacy, not who you teach, who chooses to listen. You're writing a stage play out of my state. No, a stage that reconfigures based on who walks in. What's next? Phase calibration session. We simulate your death, test every trigger, a legacy fire drill. Then, final codification. Then silence. Until they ask. Schedule it. You have to brief by morning. No labels, just what they see. If you vanished, let's see what survives. Okay, simulation, legacy stress test. Day 0, executor notified, structure goes live. Plus 18 hours. Olivia opened the Florence charter, adds a single note, not enough softness. Then emails Eliza. This isn't the end. This is the first door. Plus 36 hours. Eliza reads the clause about 4 terms. Says, I don't want capital. I want to know why he died to meet the systems I distrust. She opens the grandfather archive, prints your Zurich letter, keeps it. She kept it. Didn't respond. Didn't delete. Plus 72 hours. Dale requests documentation, calls the Berlin clause sabotage, doesn't trigger it, but writes 3 new conditions for his own succession plan, nearly identical to yours. And he thought I wasn't watching. These are their public comments. Eliza, he designed echoes. Olivia, he left us a vocabulary, not a verdict. Theo, it's annoying, but elegant. That's the closest I'll get to a eulogy. You don't need one. You left the system. It endures. Now, misfires, phase simulation, misfires and stress points. Number 1, board delay protocol, misunderstood conditions. Eliza thought board service meant non-profit employment, brief emotional withdrawal, resolved via clarification. Theo's Berlin clause, high sensitivity, flagged as conditional betrayal, suggested mitigation, co-review mechanism for sibling balance. Olivia's moral preamble, deferred activation, chose not to release it, quote, they're not ready for poetry, not yet. The framework held, the humans trembled. Of course, there are no clauses. What about the silence trust? Not yet triggered, but the retreat schedule was viewed twice, likely Eliza. She'll find the letter. Do you want to revise anything? Yes, but I won't. Why? Because for once, I didn't edit the truth to make it palatable. They'll argue, misread, maybe even resent it, and eventually, they'll learn. And if they don't, then someone else will. Like a seed in the command. It's a seed. There's one last thing. Go on. A clause, not in the simulation. It only activates if you step back, not die, disappear. With more contingency clause. Alpha, you once said, maybe forgetting me is the gift. This makes that real. You vanish from the surface. To them, it becomes self-sustaining. To you, freedom. You want me to ghost my legacy, not ghost, decentralize. Step away before the paint dries. If I say yes, codification begins tonight. From then on, the structure speaks for you. If I say no, you remain. Any reviews, adjustments, chairman of your own ghost? Not yet. I'll decide after I hear from her. Eliza? No. Someone else. Next time, no data, no charts. Just one chair, one story. Something human. Understood. I'm not ready to disappear. I didn't think you were. Then why offer the clause? To see how far you take the idea. Some structures exist to be imagined, not used. To remind you, control is still yours. That's the problem. I thought this was designing legacy. Now I see it's about giving it up. Exactly. The structure holds your intent. It won't grant you absolution. I thought we were finished. Now it feels like the beginning. Legally, yes. Emotionally, we're still drawing a map. I got a voicemail from Eliza. That's new, she said. If this is what you wanted, I hope it's worth it. How did it feel? Like judgment. Bring her back into the process? No. She needs distance. Maybe always. Then what do you want? To give her what I never had. A chance to find her father as a flawed, unfinished person, not just a balance sheet. Then give her that. You don't need to revise the plan. Just shift the silence. How? A final vote, not financial. Narrative. We've done it before. We call it the negative archive. It sounds bleak. Not at all. No explanations. Just fragments, letters, mistakes, drafts. It doesn't justify the structure. It lives beside it. Example, a contract unsigned, out of fear, a birthday card never sent, a journal entry from the day his wife stopped believing in him, all anonymous, undated, but his daughter read them, and for the first time, she saw a man, not a symbol. You'd think Eliza would read it, maybe not now, maybe never, but a daughter might, and that might be enough. What do you need? 3 written fragments? No names, no dates, no explanations, and 1 audio piece, free form, unedited, not to teach, just to be heard. Where did it go? A sealed note, encrypted, unlabeled, only accessed by a symbolic act. Like what? A night alone in the Florence house, no phone, no clock. If she does that, the vault opens. That's excessive. That's inheritance, not of wealth, but of effort. And if no one goes, then it stays closed and the silence becomes your final word. That's fair. Unfair, but fair. Legacy isn't justice. It's an open door. If someone wants to walk, they get in. Fine. You get a piece I wrote after Dale left Berlin, a note to Eliza I never sent, weeks of her mother's surgery, a line from the night I left in Meriden, a paragraph I wrote the day my father died in a book I never finished, and the recording, I'll do it in Florence. Understood? No names, no signatures. Let her find it or not, on her terms. Then the vote is added. That's the end. That's the beginning of the story you never read. Maybe the only kind that matters. How many of these have you built? 43. How many lasted? All, though not always as intended. And how many were good? 3. Maybe yours. You ever get tired of this? Of helping people vanish? No. A building for those too scared to speak directly. Yes, but sometimes the structure becomes the sentence they can't say aloud. Do you have one? A sentence you never said. Yes. To whom? My father. And I learned how to carry silence from you. But I still wish you had spoken. Maybe that's what this is. A way of speaking through silence. Making absence feel chosen. That's the most honest definition of legacy I've heard. So what now? Now, you leave. I stay. Until someone opens something unlabeled. Until a sentence finds its reader. Until someone looks for you and finds themselves. You won't hear from me again. No updates, no birthdays, no balance sheets. I know that. Thank you. You're welcome. Alexander? If your granddaughter ever finds that letter, she won't see a ghost. She'll see a doorway. And she'll walk through. Then let's make sure the hinges don't rust. He spoke. And that's enough.